fraud. Fraud is when someone makes a misrepresentation or an omission of a material fact that causes someone to part with their money. That's it. This could be in relation to any kind of investment scheme where somebody gives money to an individual hoping that they're going to invest it into something that's going to give them a return on their money, but it turns out they didn't invest the money and instead they're just spending it, paying their bills, buying fancy cars, whatever. Another example of fraud could be lying on a loan application, like with the thousands of PPP loan cases where people made up bank statements and they made up tax returns and they received hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars from the government. Or insurance fraud, where people lie on their claims forms in order to obtain benefits. Or Medicare fraud, where medical professionals will bill Medicare for services that were not medically necessary or not even rendered. Any of these examples are fraud. And the sentence that somebody receives is going to be based on the amount of loss that occurred or the amount of intended loss. So the larger the amount of money that was taken, the longer the federal prison sentence will be. So if you are charged or you are under investigation for fraud, it is essential that you get representation immediately. I'm Diane Bass. I'm a federal criminal defense attorney, and I defend people who are either under investigation or who have been charged with white-collar crimes, including fraud. So when somebody is charged with fraud, there are a series of events that are going to occur. So the first thing that they can do is come bang on your door with a search warrant at usually 6 o'clock in the morning, or they will knock on your door in the middle of the day and ask to speak with you. They could send you a target letter letting you know that you are under investigation, or they could just come arrest you with no notice. Hopefully you'll be lucky enough to be in one of the first few scenarios so you're not completely humiliated at home or at work by being arrested. But whatever scenario you are in, it is essential that you hire a lawyer immediately. And don't think that you can talk to them and convince them not to charge you, because in federal cases, particularly fraud cases, you can't. They always know so much more than you think they do. They have your bank records, they have your phone records, they have text messages. They will know the last thing you bought at Home Depot and where you had dinner with your wife last night. The only thing that you should do in this scenario is say, I will have my lawyer contact you. With the right defense strategy, we can work it out so that you walk into court, you don't have to be publicly humiliated and arrested. We can potentially get reduced charges and ultimately a reduced sentence. When you're being charged by the feds, this is much different than when you're being charged by a local district attorney who just graduated from law school in some cases. You are dealing with the United States government, who has endless resources. There is a reason why they say in the movies, never talk to law enforcement alone, because anything you say will be used against you, and what you do in this moment could make the difference between whether or not you go to prison. It is essential that you contact an attorney immediately and keep your mouth shut. If you or a loved one have been charged with a federal crime or you're under investigation, please contact my office immediately so I can go over all of your options with you and we can come up with a strategy to get the best possible outcome for you.